Hello, my name is Matt Howard, and this is my Capstone experience presentation. Just a little bit about me. My major is marketing with a concentration in sales. Since I've been to App, I picked up two main hobbies. Those are snowboarding and fly fishing, which I've loved. And since I got to college, I've been working at Boone Golf Club. And I'm a senior, expected to graduate in May of 2024. And I really enjoy taking my truck off-roading. That's a hobby that I picked up in high school. And over here on the right, the top left, it's me and my buddies, me and two of my good friends I met at both of them I met at App. Zay is on the right and Zach's in the middle. And then it's my truck. Uh, After I took it to a URA National Park, it was really fun. Me and my buddies went out there, and then the bottom left is whenever I went snowboarding out west. And then the bottom right is a trout that I caught in the Watauga River. So the five CUB goals are goal one, students will think analytically to successfully solve problems. Goal two is students will communicate effectively in writing and speech. Goal three, students will understand ethical issues and responsibility to society. Goal four is students will possess functional business knowledge and technology skills. And goal five is students will be knowledgeable about the global environment of business. And then the capstone experience was me being a sales intern at Matthews Mobile Media in Greensboro. So my five artifacts that I chose were for goal one, I did an individual essay on a sales management simulation. Basically, my junior year in one of my sales classes, we had to uh, run a whole sales team all across the US with a group with two other people in our group. And we had to hire people, we had to fire people, we had to put them in different we had to put them in sections of the US that they were comfortable in. If we put them in somewhere, if they were from the East Coast and they didn't want to go to the West Coast, but we put them on the West Coast, they would perform badly and it would affect us. So we had to take a lot into consideration when hiring and firing new people. And the essay is just whenever I was talking about, I broke it up into quarters and what we did each quarter and what we found worked good and what didn't work good. For goal two is my sales mentor project for professional selling. This was definitely the hardest assignment that I've ever had in college. We had or five different assignments basically throughout the whole semester. We had four different installments, which is papers that we had to write, and all of them were at least 10 pages. And one of the first one was just about my mentor, like what he does, what does he sell, who he works for, his other experience. And then the second one is on product knowledge. And so I got to talk about all the different features of the product, all the stuff that the company offers outside of the product, and then comparing it to other companies and their products as well. I got to know that product like the back of my hand. I did it on a rifle scope, and I mean, just I didn't don't really know much about them, but I mean, there's about four or five different objects or different features to the scope, and I realized that after writing 30 something pages on it, that there's about 100 different features that people take into account. So it's a very detailed product. And then the last two were uh, talking about how we would sell the product, basically, what like how we would approach the customer or how we would figure out what the ideal customer profile would be. And then for the role play at the very end of the semester, I acted like I was my mentor, and then my mentor, well, it was supposed to be my mentor, was acting like he was really high up at Bass Pro Shops and he was interested in buying the scope off me. But my mentor couldn't make it. He let me know like 3 days before my role play was. And then so I had to scramble around, and my stepdad stepped up and said that he would help me. And so I had 3 days to teach him the whole entire product, which was very rough. But we ended up doing it, and I got the highest grade out of anybody in my class. So that was awesome. And then goal three is the Crew nonprofit report. Crew is like it's a Christian organization, and they do it all around colleges and high schools and stuff. And we had to write a paper on a nonprofit company, and I chose them because I was involved with them in high school. And then goal four was we did a moonshine project for consumer behavior. We basically had to go and interview a lot of customers at Boonshine and a lot of employees to kind of figure out why they do what they do, what makes them come to Boonshine. For the customers, why do they like it? And then for the employees, what do they do to bring in customers? And then stuff like that, partnerships, all that type of stuff. And then um my goal five, I did business communications in Russia. This was probably the second longest assignment I've ever had. Very interesting though. We talked about there's a lot of stuff, just the communication that they have in Russia, how a lot of the stuff that we do in the US would be considered disrespectful to them. So it's kind of cool to understand how they operate, what type of business they go through, just kind of how they operate compared to the US, because obviously it's great to know, especially if I was going to go to Russia and do business in the future. I would have something to look on to, so I know that I'm not crossing any lines or making them feel uncomfortable, even though I don't realize I am. The purpose of my portfolio is to show some of what I've done while in the business school, some of the work I've done, demonstrate my hard work ethic, and show my personal growth during my time in the business school. So these are the two teachers who had the biggest impact on my education. Ryan Bublis, Mr. B, he was my intro to finance teacher, and that was probably my hardest class that I had taken at the time. And he was just always, he was a super nice guy. He was always there for all of us. We would always, I don't know, I just felt really comfortable talking to him. And he was really the first teacher at App State that I made a connection with and was like able to go to outside of class and talk to, and just go to his office and hang out with him sometimes if I was having a tough day. So I mean, he was just always there for me. Great guy. I still talk to him all the time. So he just had, just because his main impact on me was just feeling a sense of connection with the teacher, because before him I would just go to class, my teacher would say hey to me, and then we would never talk outside of class. But he always would go out of his way to talk and see how we were doing. So I loved him a lot. And then my other teacher, Bonnie Guy, she was my professional selling teacher. She definitely had the hardest class that I'd ever taken at App, but she was really influential on us, and all of her stuff had all of her assignments had a purpose, and it made me a really good salesperson. I learned a whole bunch from her, and then like Mr. B, me and Dr. Guy also have a pretty good connection. We talk outside of class, and I let her know how all my interviews are going, and then I'm in another sales class right now, and she helps me out with that whenever I have questions if my teacher's not available. She's just overall great woman, and she's helped me a lot. So some of my future goals from short term: find a job in sales, move into my own apartment, or place, I don't really know, and start putting money into my 401k. And then for my long term, I want to buy a house, invest into some good stocks, and buy a vacation home as well. Thank you. If you have any questions or would like to talk further, please feel free to email me at howardmb@appstate.edu. Thank you.